Hello, good afternoon. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Welcome to the quarantine quiz. Please brace yourselves, hope you sat down, avert your eyes because it's another week under quarantine and it's another week of hair growth. And yes, this is what I look like. Welcome to the quiz. We're live. Just checking all the systems are working and just checking the sound's coming out all right. I can see some squiggly lines going up and down there, so it looks like you should be able to hear me, and it looks like you should be able to see me, and there are people joining. Welcome. So I'm going to do my usual script, and I'm going to go through kind of the rules, and as I'm doing so, I'm going to leave the first round, the picture quiz round, running. Let's start from the top and work our way through. So, hello, welcome to the quarantine quiz. My name is Tom, and this is my YouTube channel live from the home office, and this is my home office. Welcome. So, if you're new, here's some sort of housekeeping, few sort of rules of the game. And whilst we're going through that, we're going to have the picture quiz. I've done something slightly different with the picture quiz this week. I've turned it into effectively a slideshow. It's a video that just plays. Each of the questions is on the screen for several seconds, and then it's the next one. There's 20 of these. This came by request because I am open to requests for essentially some sort of like catchphrase, say what you see type pictures. So I found some that I've borrowed off the internet for this quiz, and they're coming up in a sec. But by putting them into a slideshow, I can put them full screen so you can see them a bit more clearly, rather than having 20 little tiny things on the screen which are harder to see. I'll run that through twice, I think, in case some people sort of come in late and miss them. They won't be able to see them because it's just one after the other. So, without any further ado, let me just switch back. Or can I do this really swish? So if I press this button and this at the same time, it fades across. Woo! And it counts down. There we go. Here's round one, the picture quiz. These are cryptic film titles, and I'll play it through twice. There are a few Harry Potter, damn it! There are a few James Bond movies in there. Well, there you go, you can have that one for free. There's a few James Bond movies in there, and I'll play it through twice. That's a good start, isn't it? I blame the warm weather. So, welcome. There are no prizes. This is just a bit of fun. Please don't Google the answers. That takes the fun out of it. However, if you do have kids on your team, it's more than reasonable to allow them to go and grab a history book or an atlas if there's a history question or a geography question. We can put that down as research. We can call it homeschooling. If you do have kids with you, parental guidance is advised. I'm not planning on saying any naughty words during the quiz, but please supervise your kids at all times in case the quiz gets out of hand. If you want to video call your friends, family or colleagues and form an online team, you're more than welcome to do so. Hello once again every week to my colleagues who are tuning in. So whether you sort of form a team just over the phone or through like WhatsApp video or Zoom or House Party, something like that, you're more than welcome to do that. Otherwise, just play with the people that you live with or just on your own, doesn't matter. During the quiz, I'll only be watching the comments on YouTube. I can't promise that I'll be able to kind of track all of the comments that I'm getting through my people who know me on WhatsApp and Facebook and whatever. So please do keep your eyes peeled on the chat. Speaking of which, my mum's trying to join the quiz, but she can't find the link. Any of my colleagues that know me and know my mum on Facebook, could you please just ping her a link to the quiz? That would be great, and then she can tune in. Please don't post the answers in the chat. I know that the chat is the only. Oh, we've got a request come through. These are movie titles, sort of cryptic movie titles disguised in sort of picture form. Yeah, please don't post the answers in the chat. The chat is there if you need to sort of shout out for another question, etc. If you find the quiz too easy, too hard, if you like one of the rounds, if you don't like one of the rounds, if you think the general knowledge is too difficult, let me know. I'll tweak it for next week. And of course, as usual, in the event that we lose the live feed for some reason, I'll attempt to reconnect, hopefully on the same link, so you see it again straight away. If not, it might have to be a fresh live stream on a new link, but if you press subscribe, which is up next to this video or below it or wherever it is on your screens, if you press subscribe, then it makes it slightly easier for you to find the live feed if you lose it. in the event that I can't get the live feed up and running, what I'm doing is recording everything that's going out onto the internet, so I can upload the whole thing onto YouTube later, so you better watch it back and still sort of take part in all the things. Yeah, that's about it. So those are the rules of the game, and the regulars will know. And that was the end of the picture round. I'm going to run that through from the start again in just a sec, because we're going to need another run through of that. But do we, at this point, have any questions, queries, concerns, serving suggestions in the chat? The telephone's going, so I imagine that's my mother saying, I can't get into the live quiz. Lizzie, you know my mum on Facebook, I think, so now that you've unmuted me, if you could just message her, send her a link to the quiz, that would be great. Thank you very much. Right, bear with me. So, very warm welcome to you. We've got 6 concurrent viewers, so there's a few teams within that. Welcome everybody. Lovely weather, isn't it? It's getting a bit windy though this weekend. Good news for renewable energy fans. Wind power is going to be huge this weekend. Link copied, there we go, and the Facebook chat. Sorted, there we go. Right, so that's that. So, let's have that picture quiz again. It was a slightly tricky one because you only see each picture once very briefly. So we're going to cut back to this video and I'm going to press this button and it should start roughly at the same time. Look at that. Boom. Magic. Cryptic film titles. Slight slip of the tongue earlier. You got this one as a freebie. So this one, there's a guy with hairy arms and he's doing pottery, so it's Harry Potter. You get the idea. And there's the rest. And just while you are watching those, I'm going to go and get myself a drink. And if you've got any questions, queries, concerns, etc., post them in the live chat and I will come back to you in just a sec. And I'll leave the mic on so you get to hear what the traffic sounds like outside my window and possibly the birds fighting over the birdseed outside. And my mum's made it. Welcome, Mum. Hello. And if you're totally stuck or if you missed any, we can always wind it back and have another look at a couple of them. So just stick the number of the question you're stuck on in the chat and I will wind you back to that one. Just looking at the viewing figures, it's interesting. Seem to be alternating between really busy weeks and really quiet weeks. I wasn't able to get the link out to this week's quiz on some of the Facebook groups that I normally post it on. For some reason it wouldn't post. That might go some way to explain it, but also I think people are just out in the sunshine now that rules have relaxed slightly. I don't know how much longer we can keep calling this the quarantine quiz. I'm certainly happy to do it every week all the time that I'm working from home and I'm available at 4:30 on a Friday. Do let me know if the background noise is too much as well. If the wind gets up or the traffic's going past and it makes it hard to hear. I can always shut the windows. I don't mind cooking for a little while if it improves the quality of the audio. Okay, and there we are, number 20. That was the picture round. What I can do for you is wind that back if anybody's totally stuck on any of those, and we can wind that back and have a look at some of them. Do let me know if there's any that you're stuck on. Post it in the chat, and I'll wind it back and we'll have a look. Next up will be the general knowledge round in just a couple of minutes. Hopefully not too difficult. There's a few multiple choice questions in there. There's a question about the board game Monopoly. I seem to do one of those every week. I'm going to run out of those eventually. There's one sort of movie related question. There's a sort of a British statistic type question. There's a true or false. There's a spacey one. There's a geography-ish one. And a slightly history one. So there's a mixture. There's only 10 questions on general knowledge. We've got some answer mash. Some of them easy, some of them, a couple of them in particular, slightly trickier this week because they're quite straightforward to get once you've got them. And the final round of the day, as usual, is the music round. We do that at the end just in case the live stream gets cut off because it detects that I'm playing copyrighted music, even though I'm only playing a few seconds of it. Nobody's saying anything in the chat. It's either because you've all gone to sleep, or you've all tuned out, or nobody wants anything repeated. So, assuming you're all cool with that, let's bring you back to this hideous view, and we'll crack on with the general knowledge round. So, and then we'll come back and do the answers to the picture round. So, general knowledge. Question number 1 on round 2 general knowledge this week. Quarantine quiz number 7, live from the Home Office with me, Tom TX1. I should be on TV. Number 1, what year did humans first land on the moon? And if all of the conspiracy theorists out there would like to remove their tinfoil hats just momentarily and answer the question correctly, which year did humans first land on the moon? By which I mean actual physical humans in spacesuits, not robots, because robots got there before we did. Fun fact, Mars is the only known planet inhabited entirely by robots. Question number 1, what year did humans first land on the moon? Question number 2, how many non-quadrilateral, now there's a long word for Friday afternoon, that means square or rectangle, how many non-quadrilateral flags are there in the world? And that is out of the, I think it's 190 countries or territories as recognised by the United Nations. So out of all of those countries or territories and all of their flags, national flags that is, how many non-square or rectangle or non-quadrilateral flags are there? You don't get any extra points for naming the country or countries where that flag belongs. You just get a point for the number. Oh, we've got some birds fighting on my bird feeder outside. It's about as exciting as it gets around here. Question number 3. Which property on a Monopoly board are you most likely to land on? Now I've got 2 answers, one for the British version and one for the American version, should any of our American cousins overseas be tuning in. Hello! Must be about midday for you over there. Enjoying the weather? Hopefully it's as nice as it is over here. So which property on the Monopoly board are you most likely to land on? That's question number 3. If you don't know, have a guess. You might know this one. If you know what sorts of things are on the chance cards, I think it's on the chance cards, there's a property that you are most likely, statistically, to land on. And there's a clue as well, it's a property, so it's not the go to jail or free parking or chance or community chest or go squares or the tax squares. So it's one of the coloured properties. Okay, question number 4. In which county of England is the famous Stonehenge Monument? So in which county is the famous Stonehenge Monument? I had to scratch my head about this one because I thought it was one thing, but it turns out it's another. Oh, more birds. Top tip, if you want to encourage birds in your garden, I can highly recommend mealworms. That was full this morning and it's now empty this afternoon. But we did have a peak of about 12 sparrows on it, so that'll be why it's gone. Ended up being more sparrows on the floor because they spill so many of them and they're kind of pecking away at it. Right, that was the question number 4. In which county of England is the famous Stonehenge monument? Hopefully you've had time to answer that one. Question number 5 is a people question. Who of the following 2 people is the oldest, or eldest? What's the correct version of that word? So, who is older? Is it the Queen of England or Dick Van Dyke? So, who is older? Is it the Queen of England or Dick Van Dyke? It's all quiet in the chat today. Let us know how you're doing. Give us a wave, give us a shout out in the chat. Let me know how you're doing. So 50-50 on that one. Who is older? Queen of England or Dick Van Dyke? By which I mean the current Queen Elizabeth II, not the concept of the Queen of England, so which is obviously hundreds of years old. Question number 6. How many feature-length films, it's a filming question, have been made that are based on the novels written by J.K. Rowling? So number 6, how many feature-length films have been made that are based on novels written by J.K. Rowling? And you might need a little bit of time to count them up. And just while you're thinking about that question, just a quick glance at your phone just in case there are. I know I said I wasn't going to look at these. Somebody there with some confidence that they got most of those questions right. Presumably that was the picture round. Okay. Question number 6, how many feature-length films have been made that are based on novels written by J.K. Rowling? Question number 7, multiple choice. You're spoilt today. How far, approximately, does the average British motorist drive in 1 year? Is it 7,000 miles, 17,000 miles, or 70,000 miles? So approximately how far does the average British motorist drive in 1 year? Is it 7,000 miles, 17,000 miles, or 70,000 miles? And that is the average British motorist. So that includes your little old lady just pootling down to the shop to buy her free-range eggs, and it also includes the people who zip up and down the motorway on a daily basis. Still quiet in the chat. Am I still on the air? Nobody's saying anything. Say hello. Let me know you're there. Right. Question number 8. True or false? The fastest production car in the world is electric. Is that true or is that false? The fastest production car in the world is electric, meaning it's an electric car powered by electricity rather than petrol or diesel or whatever. True or false? 50-50. We're here! Welcome! Question number 9. There are 3 collective nouns for camels. You can have a flock of camels, you can have a train of camels, but what is the other collective noun for camels? The collective noun for people in my family and friends of the family is a squib. Don't ask. Question number 9. There are 3 collective nouns for camels. A flock, a train, and what else? There's another collective noun for camels. And question number 10. It's a spelling question. seem to have got stuck in a rhythm of putting one of those at the end of each general knowledge round. I just realised you used the word rhythm, which is the word in the question. That's probably why that sprung to mind, that word. Spell the word rhythm. Seems fairly straightforward, but can you get all the letters in the right place? Question number 10, spell the word rhythm. And it has just occurred to me that anybody playing on a mobile device and making a note of their answers, it'll probably underline the word if it's spelt incorrectly. Or if you get somewhere close to the word, it will correct it for you. That's kind of cheating. And that is the end of the general knowledge round. I've stalled long enough for you to write down the word rhythm, hopefully. Would anybody like me to repeat any of those? Do let me know in the questions. Otherwise, I'm just going to move on and do the answers for the picture quiz. Fun fact for you while I'm waiting for those comments to come in, if anybody wants anything repeated. There are more aeroplanes underwater than there are submarines in the sky. Also, if you'd be interested in watching my wife cut my hair with trimmers, I'm thinking of maybe just doing it for charity, broadcasting it live on the internet in the hope of maybe raising some money for charity. It's like, hey, welcome along, you know, post in the comments, you know, which charity you've donated a £5 to or something, and just see what we can raise. And it would be possibly funny to look at me going, ah! And my wife going, ah! And then whatever turns out. I mean, it can't be any dodgier than this, Barnet. Look at this. And I've got it as far down as my nose just about if I pull that hair out. It's not been this long since, I don't know, at least 10 years. Probably longer. Right, nobody's saying they want anything repeated, so let's go through the answers. What I'm going to do is I'm going to whiz you back to the picture quiz and we'll do the answers on there. So, number 1, I gave you this one, that was Harry Potter. Can I just play that through? Will that number 1 was Harry Potter. Number 2, no, I'm going to skip through manually, otherwise we'll be here forever. Number 2, Braveheart. Number 3, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. So it's not the clearest picture in the world, but there's a number 1 with wings flying over a nest. How do we know it's a cuckoo's nest? Well, there's one egg a slightly different colour, which I assume is the cuckoo. There's a bit of a clue there as well. So the nest actually isn't a cuckoo's nest, because the cuckoo is I suppose it is. It's a nest. The nest belongs to another bird, but there's a cuckoo in it, so that therefore makes it a cuckoo's nest. Right, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Number 4. That is the Blair Witch Project. That is Tony Blair dressed as a witch. The Blair Witch Project. Number 5, Moonraker. So, no, it's not very clear, but that is a rake. That is an astronaut with a rake on the moon. Moonraker. Told you there'd be some Bond movies in there. Number 6 is Purple Rain. Number 7 is I, Robot. Film with Will Smith, who features in another one of our questions. Here we go. This is Good Will Hunting. Good Will Hunting. I can't actually say I've seen that film. Can't remember. This one is Harry Potter again, but it's Dirty Harry. So it's Harry Potter and he's muddy. It's Dirty Harry. Question number 10 is Train Spotting. Fairly straightforward, that one. Train with spots. Or being painted with spots, hence spotting. It's a verb. This one is another eye-related one. This is GoldenEye. GoldenEye, that one. Number 12 is Fight Club. There's a boxing glove on a golf club. It's Fight Club. Number 13 is From Russia with Love. So it's got love written on it and a heart, and it's clearly come from Russia. Because of all these stereotypes that have been plastered all over it. Right, number 14 is Blazing Saddles. Yeah, couldn't get away with making that film in today's day and age, but it is a good film for highlighting the stupidity of racism. So, you know, it does have some merits there. Yeah, Blazing Saddles. Number 15, slightly trickier. It's not very clear, but this is a diary that belongs to a certain secret agent. It says lunch with Q, go out with hot foreign girl, fight international crime, day off. And where it says die, it's been noted that it needs to be rescheduled because it's Die Another Day. So there's another Bond film title there for you. Die Another Day. Right, number 16 is Beetlejuice. I love the pattern and colour scheme on that beetle as well. Bit of a clue there. Beetlejuice. Number 17, I actually found this slightly tricky to begin with because there's not that many clues. But this one is Who Framed Roger Rabbit? So it's a rabbit in a frame. Who framed Roger Rabbit? We'll have to assume that the rabbit's name is Roger. Number 18, there's Earth there and some other world, probably Mars, having a bit of a fight. It's War of the Worlds. Number 19, now this one slightly trickier if you ask me. This one is Young Guns. So it's guns with dummies in them, or pacifiers for our American friends, and what clearly looks like a baby's mat of some sort in the background. So it's Young Guns. Please do not give your children firearms. And finally, question number 20. This is my favourite one. There's some zoo animals next to the Moonlander. It's Zoolander. And that was your picture round for this week. Woo! There we go. So, give us a score out of 20. Oh, No Time to Die. Oh, somebody said No Time to Die in the question. You know what? If you put No Time to Die, which is the name of the new upcoming Bond film, give yourself a point on that one, because arguably that kind of catchphrasey picture could mean that as well. Yeah, go on, give yourself a point for that. So we've got an 18, well done, 17, some good scores there. Got 12s and 13s, everybody got at least half on that one, so that was good. As usual, do let me know though if you think you need to see the pictures for longer, or if you'd prefer to trying to get multiple pictures on the screen even though they're smaller. You know, if you like this format or the last format from last week, do let me know. Okay. So, moving on to the answers for the general knowledge round. Question number 1. Which year did humans first land on the moon? Human beings first set foot on the moon in 1969. Oh, and there's a 20 out of 20. Oh, it's showing off. It's almost as if you're on a team full of film and TV lecturers that helped you get the answers on that one. Question number 1, what year did humans first land on the moon? That's 1969. Question number 2, how many non-quadrilateral, in brackets, i.e. square or rectangle, flags are there in the world? There are 2 flags that are exact squares, and then the rest are all rectangles, apart from 1. And if you're really showing off, you might know that the one flag of the world that is not a square or a rectangle is the Nepalese flag, as in from the country of Nepal. But you don't get an extra point for that. The answer I'm looking for is the number 1. But if you knew that it was Nepal as well, then, I don't know, put some sort of comment in the chat to let us all know that you're a smarty pants. Right, number 3. Which property on a Monopoly board are you most likely to land on? The answer, on the British version, is Trafalgar Square. Now, the equivalent space on the American version is Illinois Avenue. So, statistically, that is the square you're most likely to land on, and that is partly because there is a chance card that says advance to Trafalgar Square. So, statistically, you are more likely to land on that one than other squares. Yep, people in the comments knew that it was Nepal. Well done. Okay, so question number 4. In which county of England is the famous Stonehenge monument? I kept wanting to say Somerset, but it's not. It's Wiltshire. Wiltshire, the county of Wiltshire is where Stonehenge is located. I thought of the question, but didn't know the answer, so I googled it, and according to the internet, it's Wiltshire. Okay, question number 5. You had 50-50 on this one. Who is older, the Queen of England or Dick Van Dyke? Well, they are both 94, but one person was born a few months before the other, and that person is Dick Van Dyke. So, as old as the Queen is, Dick Van Dyke, believe it or not, is 4 or 5 months older than the Queen. I think she was born in the April, but he was born in the preceding December. Yeah, he's old. Right, question number 6. How many feature-length films have been made that are based on novels written by J.K. Rowling? The answer is 10. There are 8 Harry Potter films, based on these 7 books, and there are 2 Fantastic Beasts films that have been made and released so far. So the answer we're looking for there is 10. Question number 7. You had multiple choice on this one. Approximately how far does the average Brit motorist drive in 1 year? Is it 7,000, 17,000 or 70,000 miles? The answer is 7,000. According to MOT data in 2018, the average British motorist drives 7,134 miles per year. And that is a slight drop on the year before, and it's probably going to be another drop in 2019 and a significant drop in 2020 because nobody's driving anywhere at the moment. Right, question number 8. True or false? The fastest production car in the world is electric. False. Those of you who know me were probably thinking that I'm going to put in a pro electric car in there. The fastest production car in the world is something called the Koenigsegg Agera, I don't know, RS, and it's a 5-litre engine, and it only costs $3 million. And it does 0 to 60 in something like 2.1 seconds or something. Quite why you need to be going that fast, I don't know. But it's only a limited run of those, so you can't get your hands on too many of them if you've got, tens of millions of pounds lying around and want one. Can't have them. There's not that many of them. However, at 2.4 seconds or 2.6 seconds, you can get a Tesla for significantly less money, and there's plenty of those around. So, electric car's still better. Number 9. There are 3 collective nouns for camels. Flock, train, and caravan. Thinking some of you might have put herd, because I probably would have put that, but it's caravan. And then when you hear the word caravan, you think, oh, of course, a caravan of camels. Question number 10, spell the word rhythm. R for Romeo, H for hotel, Y for Yankee, T for tango, H for hotel, and M for Mike. Rhythm, R-H-Y-T-H-M. I can never get the H's and the Y's in the right place. I keep trying to do R-Y and then it doesn't look right. Well done if you got that correct. And do, as usual, let me know in the comments how many you got out of 10 on that one. Somebody says Fantastic Beasts were technically not novels though. Oh. Well, I googled it and the internet said 10. But hasn't she actually... I know that Fantastic Beasts were a fictional novel within the Harry Potter films, but hasn't J.K. Rowling then written like the full versions of Fantastic Beasts? I thought that was what was happening there. Anyway, we got some scores. Slightly lower scores this week, so perhaps I've gone slightly too tricky on the general knowledge again and tripping you up on that one. But yeah, we've got 5 out of 10, 5 out of 10, 7 out of 10, that's not bad. Gifalendum in the Gifendulum. Ah, I see, not Gifalendum. Because it's a play on pendulum, maybe? Disputing the score there. Look, if you put 8 because you're based on the Harry Potter movies, just give yourself a point there and then you have 4 out of 10. Okay, right. So, we're moving on to Answer Mash. Answer Mash this week, there's a few easy ones, a few trickier ones, because we seem to be doing quite well on there, and I don't want people getting 10 out of 10 every week, because that takes the fun out of it. Try and trip you up a little bit on the Answer Mash. So the Answer Mash has come from, or has been inspired by Richard Osman's House of Games. I'm not on commission, but here it is anyway. It's a TV show on BBC, highly recommend it. I don't know if it's on iPlayer at the moment, but the last round of every show, they do a show like every weekday evening allegedly, but they blatantly film it all in one day and then change clothes and spread it out over a week. But every show, they finish with a round called Answer Smash. It's good fun to say the words and get these clues. So Regulars will know this. If I say famous blue spiky computer game character that collects gold rings, and the place where Harry Potter, he keeps rearing his head, doesn't he, studies during term time, the answer would be Sonic the Hedgehog and Hogwarts. So the answer we're looking for is Sonic the Hedgehog Hogwarts. So here we go, 10 answer mash questions. Question number 1. A British war veteran who raised millions of pounds for charity by walking around his garden, who's just recently turned 100 years old, and an American brand of treat, let's call it a biscuit, although a biscuit is a cookie in American, or biscuit in English, that used the tagline or the phrase twist, lick, dunk. So those 2 clues again: British war veteran who raised millions of pounds for charity by walking around his garden, who recently turned 100 years old, and an American brand of cookie or biscuit that uses the tagline twist, lick, dunk, or at least at some point has used the tagline twist, lick, dunk. That's question number 1. I love how we're having an argument about whether Fantastic Beasts is a novel or not. Question number 2 on Answer Mash. A diet that includes no animal products at all, and dangerous men with Tommy guns from the 1930s. So a diet that includes no animal products at all, and dangerous men with Tommy guns from the 1930s. I do like the answer mash of these 2 clues put together. Good news is there's only 1 point in it. Most people got 5 out of 10 on that, and you got 4 out of 10, so there's only 1 point, so you can more than make up for it on one of these other rounds. Question number 3. The first name of the lead female character in the 50 Shades of Grey books, and an Asian breed of cat. So the first name of the lead female character in the 50 Shades of Grey books, and an Asian breed of cat. If you've never read 50 Shades of Grey, maybe think about sort of a famous or popular brand, that's not the right word, breed of Asian, or cat of Asian descent, and then use the first part of that answer to work out the last part of the name and see if you can come up with a name that fits. So the first name of the lead female character in the 50 Shades of Grey books, and an Asian breed of cat. Question number 4. The name of the group of diseases that COVID-19 is part of, and American musician with hits that include Yeah, DJ Got Us Falling in Love, and I Don't Mind. So that's the name of the group of diseases that COVID-19 is part of, aka the other word that we use to describe COVID-19, and American musician with hits that include Yeah, DJ Got Us Falling in Love, and I Don't Mind, among many others. Question number 5. The name of the current President of the United States, and a fairy tale character from Germany. And I really like the answer to this one. Question number 5. Current President of the United States, what's his name? And a fairy tale character from Germany. Question number 6. And I do like this one as well. A household appliance for heating food, and a team of marvellous superheroes. Household appliance for heating food, and a team of marvellous superheroes. It's going to bring a whole new... I'm going to have to do some Photoshop later with the superheroes. Put them in the kitchen, waiting for their dinner to heat up. Right, question number 7. This is a slightly trickier one. Objects from ancient civilizations, particularly those around the Mediterranean, such as the Greeks and the Romans, and the word that means to get out of captivity. So objects from ancient civilizations, particularly those around the Mediterranean, such as the Greeks and Romans, and the word that means to get out of captivity. And this word that describes the objects, the sort of singular version of this word also kind of describes the time period. I'm not much of a historian, but that's, what I gather from the internet when I Googled this question. Objects from ancient civilizations, or the ancient civilizations, so it's sort of general ancient civilizations, but particularly those around the Mediterranean, such as the Greeks and the Romans, and the word that means to get out of captivity. Question number 8. The stuff that hummus is made from, and a British period drama set in the aftermath of World War I. And to give you a clue on that one, I think it's a BBC production, and the series is now available to view on Netflix. And I've not seen it, which is unsurprising because there's very little that I seem to have seen. So question number 8, the stuff that hummus is made from, what is it? And a British period drama set in the aftermath of World War I. Question number 9. A marsupial, one of those sort of hairy creatures from down under, and a famous song by Meat Loaf. Think of a song by Meat Loaf. He's got 2 or 3 really big hits that everyone knows. So a marsupial and a famous song by Meat Loaf. And question number 10. The First Minister of Scotland and a crispy fried vegetarian treat from India often eaten with curry. Or it's certainly often eaten with a curry in the UK. Particularly if you go down on curry nights at the Hungry Horse. Other chain restaurants are available, but not at the moment, obviously. And you get one of their big plate curries, then you often get these with that. I don't think I've ever eaten an Indian meal without having at least one of these. So, First Minister of Scotland and a crispy fried vegetarian treat from India eaten with curry. I'm going to have a heck of a job pronouncing that one, but they do mash together. Okay, that was Answer Mash, 10 questions. Would you like me to repeat any of those? I will give you a moment to think about that. And I will watch the comments and see what people say. And if nobody wants anything repeated, we'll go straight into the answers. Then we'll do the music round. And then Bob's your uncle. Robert's your mother's brother. We're done for the week already. Which is good, because I'm trying to keep this to under an hour. Because although there's a lockdown on, people have got lives they want to get on with. You want me to repeat number 10? Or do you reckon you've got 10 right? Number 10, the First Minister of Scotland. It's her full name. Particularly her surname you need to get. Because it's Answer Mash, and a crispy fried vegetarian treat from India eaten with curry. So if you think of a crispy fried lump that you have with your curry, that might help get you the last part of the First Minister of Scotland's surname. Okay. Repeat 7, 8 and 10. Okay, number 7. Objects from ancient... I'll start again and say it correctly, because that might help. Number 7. Objects from the ancient civilizations, particularly those around the Mediterranean, such as the Greeks and Romans, and the word that means to get out of captivity. So, if you want to go from being in prison to illegally not being in prison, what would you be doing? Number 8, the stuff that hummus is made from. So what is hummus made from? Is it a vegetable? Yes, must be. It's not a fruit. Is it something that you would count as a pulse in the pulses aisle? What the hell's a pulse? and the British period drama set in the aftermath of World War One. It's a BBC production. It's quite popular, it's all the rage, and now it's on Netflix, and they all wear hats. Well, they certainly do in the posters anyway. Hats, like that. What was 7, somebody says? Well, hopefully, because you've just typed that, you've just reheard it, because I've just said it. Right. Oh, is it legume or legume? I don't know how you pronounce that. Right, let's go through the answers. Number 1. I do like the answers because I like saying the words out loud. I know it's sad, but I am sad. Question number 1. British war veteran who raised millions of pounds for charity by walking around his garden, and an American brand of treat, cookie, biscuit, whatever you want to call it, that uses the tagline Twist, Lick, Dunk. The answer we're looking for is Captain Tom Morio. So Captain Tom Moore, and Oreo. Captain Tom Morio is the answer. Number 2, a diet that includes no animal products at all, and dangerous men with Tommy guns from the 1930s. The answer we're looking for is Vegangster. Vegan and gangster, Vegangster. Question number 3, the first name of the lead female character in the 50 Shades of Grey books, and an Asian breed of cat. The answer we're looking for is Anastasia-Siamese. So it's Anastasia and Siamese. The normal spelling, inverted commas, if that is the right way of putting it, of Anastasia is CIA at the end, which doesn't work with Siamese. I would have had plenty of easier clues to ask if the spelling of the singer was SIA at the end, but it wasn't. So Anastasia-Siamese. Question number 4. The name of the group of diseases that COVID-19 is part of, and American musician with hits that include Yeah, DJ Guts Falling in Love, and I Don't Mind, Coronavirus. Coronavirus and Usher. Coronavirus. Question number 5. The current president of the United States and a fairy tale character from Germany. The answer we're looking for is Donald Trumpelstiltskin. Donald Trump and Rumpelstiltskin. Donald Trumpelstiltskin. Number 6. Household appliance for heating food and a team of marvellous superheroes. We're looking for the answer Microwave Engers. So silly. Microwave Engers. Number 7. Objects from ancient civilizations, particularly those around the Mediterranean, such as the Greeks and Romans, and a word that means to get out of captivity. The 2 words separately that we're looking for is antiquities and escape. So it becomes antiquitiescape is the answer we're looking for. Well done if you got that one, that's tricky. Question number 8. The stuff that hummus is made from, and British period drama in the aftermath of World War One. The answer we're looking for is Peaky Blinders. Chickpea and Peaky Blinders. Peaky Blinders. Question number 6. A marsupial and a famous song by Meatloaf. The answer we're looking for is Wombat Out of Hell. Wombat and Bat Out of Hell. Wombat Out of Hell. Question number 10. The First Minister of Scotland and a crispy fried vegetarian treat from India eaten with curry. Nicola Sturgeon Bargee. Nicola Sturgeon and Onion Bargee becomes Nicola Sturgeon Bargee. There we go. That was Answer Match for this week. I tried to make it slightly trickier this week because people are getting ridiculously good scores in previous weeks. So let me know how many you got out of 10 on that one, and we shall move on. And if you're desperate for a wee, you've got a moment before the music round starts. Oh, you're still getting high scores. Very well done. We got an 8 out of 10 and a 9 out of 10 then. I was hoping to trip you up and maybe get some more lower scores. 8, 9, oh, well. I'm going to have to come up with some tougher ones, I think. Perhaps there should be more where one of the 2 clues is quite difficult, but the other one's really easy, so you can get one of the answers and then go from there, like a highbrow, lowbrow thing, which is one of the rounds in Richard Osman's House of Games. I promise I'm not in commission. Right, well, if that's all the scores in then, guys, then let's move on to the music round. I've got the music queued up, and I'm just going to check that the audio is set to the right level so I don't deafen you all. There we go. I know there's some background noise because I've got traffic noise and wind and birds tweeting and stuff like that, so if make sure these don't go out of order because I've not numbered them again this week. Whoops, what an amateur. So if the background noise is too much, do let me know and I'll fade the mic down and just play the music. And as usual, I'm going to put my headphones on to make sure the music's coming out nicely, but it does give me a slight delay in my own voice, so it sounds like I'm slurring or I'm drunk. I'm not. It's the thing. It's the technology. Right. Hopefully anybody who's needed a wee has rushed and had a wee, because we're going to crack on with the final round of the day, the music round. And if we get cut off, I'm sorry, but there's only a few seconds of each one, so we should be fine. Question number 1. Oh, by the way, it's title of the song and the artist, so it's 2 points available for each question, for a whopping 20 points available on this round. So, question number 1 again. Title of the song and the artist, please. Question number 2. Classic. 2002? 2001. Late 2001, I think. And if you've seen the music video, you'll know why I'm doing this with my hands. And it was question number 2. Question number 3. That was question number 3. Here it is again. And don't forget, it's title of the song and the artist. Point for each. Question number 4. Question number 4 again. Question number 5.
Yeah.
Oh, people of a certain age basically will know exactly what that is. And a lot of other people not at that age probably know what it is as well.
Yeah.
And that is the original, not the parody cover by Weird Al Yankovic. What are we up to? Question number 6. That's all you're getting on that one. Question number 7. Here it is again. Question number 8. Some people would have got that after like the first beat. If you know it, you know it. Question number 9. Okay, you had a bit longer on that one because it was a bit slower. Here it is one more time. This is question number 9 again. finally, question number 10. Doesn't matter whether you love him or you hate him, all you need to know is who he is and the title of this song. And weirdly, just in that moment, I remember that I took part in an online quiz for a famous pizza takeaway chain in the UK, and they said they'd announced the winner on Tuesday. It's now Friday, and I haven't been announced as the winner, so I'm guessing I didn't win that one. Right, that was the music round. Do you want any more repeated? Let me know, and then I'll repeat them. 1 and 8 again. Right, number 1. I'll give you a hint on some of these. These are in order, alphabetical order, by title of song. So if you know the answer to question 2, then you know that question 1 needs to start with a letter of the alphabet before that. So that was number 1. What else do we want? Somebody wants number 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That was number 4. Somebody else wants 7. I'm trying to do these in the order that you've asked them. 7. And somebody wants number 8. Okay, and that is the end of the music round. So, let's go through... no, it is a Virgin Cuba Libre. A Diet Virgin Cuba Libre. Right, number 1 was this one. Get ready for the answers. 2 points for each, remember, 1 for the name and 1 for the name of the person. That was Baby Jane by Rod Stewart. That was Can't Get You Out of My Head by Kylie. La la la, la 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 la. That one. Number 3. Cry Me a River by Justin Timberlake. Question number 4. I can't not hear the rest of the song afterwards. That was Dance the Night Away by the Mavericks. Question number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. That was I Want It That Way by the Backstreet Boys. Question number 6. Millennium by Robbie Williams. Remember the music video vividly. He's dressed as James Bond with an Aston Martin. He's got the gold backdrop and then there's a bit on the beach with a helicopter shot. It's great. Right. Question number 7. That's National Express by the Divine Comedy. Question number 8. I'm not surprised you didn't get this one, Lizzie, because you can't stand this band. That is Radio Gaga by Queen. Question number 9. Now, possibly slightly trickier. You might have got the name. Together in Electric Dreams. Trickier though is the artist. The artist is Philip Oakey and Giorgio Moroder. and I have no idea if I'm pronouncing that correctly. If you got one of those two names, great. Together in Electric Dreams by Philip Oakey and Giorgio Moroder. Or Moroder? It's not Marauder. There you go. Right, question number 10. My mother-in-law likes him. And he's absolutely hilarious on Twitter. That is You're Beautiful by James Blunt. So there we go. 10 questions, 20 points possible. I'm going to take that off so I don't slur my words or sound like I'm drunk. Let us know how many you got out of 20 on the music round, and then have a count up because we've got 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 points up for grabs again today. Let us know how many out of 20 you got in the music round, and also your grand total out of 60 today. That's pretty good. We've got a 15 there. Got an 18, woo! 17, 16, 15. And then we got some final scores coming in, very well done. 40 out of 60, that's 2/3. Bit of maths. 48 out of 60, wowzers. What else we got coming through? Thank you very much again this week for tuning in. It's gone slightly over the hour, my apologies. I'll try and pick up the pace again next week. Oh, we got 2 48s out of 60. Are we looking at a tie for first place, potentially? And then, yeah, same time next week, because I'm pretty sure a lot of us will still be under quarantine, inverted commas, next week. Is that all the scores? We're going to have there's at least one more team watching, I know that. They're keeping us in suspenders and then revealing their score, perhaps. Right. Just while waiting for those final scores to come in, I'm just going to queue up my logo on the screen. Cut back to this screen so that I can fade out my visuals. 48 out of 60. Oh, I saw... you've corrected it. It's 80%. I saw 40 out of 60. I thought that was 2/3. 48 out of 60, 80%. Counter-upper has disappeared. Ha! Unlucky. Looks like we'll just have to declare 2 teams joint winners. We've got 2 48s out of 60 there. Jif's team and Sarah's team both got 48 out of... Oh, hang on, no, 3 teams. Wait, hang on, Rachel, are you saying you got 40 out of 60? Or have you corrected yourself and saying you've actually got 48 out of 60? Or are you just telling us that their score of 48 out of 60 is 80%? Now I'm confused. Is it a 3-way tie for first place, or is it a 2-way tie for first place? Well, it looks like we're going to have a tiebreaker. To the nearest, well, just to the nearest number. The tiebreaker question, and feel free for everyone to just join in on this one. The tiebreaker question is how many people are listed in the credits of the film Iron Man 3? Sounds a bit random, but it's a number I happen to know off the top of my head. So, and that's definitely 2.1 people at least, 2.2 people, if not, slightly higher decimal. Trying to embed maths. Well done, Mum. 44 is pretty good on your own. What have we got? Got 40 out of 60. Okay, cool, right, gotcha. So there's 2 teams tied for first place with 48 out of 60 officially, until Lizzie's counter-upper comes back. Whether or not they come back or not, I don't know. But let's just do the tiebreaker for a laugh anyway. Let me know in the comments, how many people do you think worked on the film or are listed in the credits of the film Iron Man 3? Is it hundreds? Is it thousands? Is it tens of thousands? Whatever number of people you think are in the credits of that movie, put it in the comments. We'll see who's nearer. And out of the 2 teams that have got 48, we'll declare the winners. Can I repeat the question? Yes. There's a bit of a delay, so I have done. Lots. Yeah, the answer is lots. But the nearest answer wins. Doesn't matter if they're wildly inaccurate or laughable, it's just whichever is the nearest one will win. You don't unfortunately have time to go and put the film on and count them up. Don't know about you, but we're all waiting with bated breath for the answer on this one. Okay, one team says 1,000, one team says 2,000. The correct answer is 3,310 people are listed in the credits of Iron Man 3, which means Jif's team is closest. And unless the counter-upper of that other team comes back in the next few seconds, I'm going to declare Jif's team the winner. With 48 plus bonus ball, which is a pretty good score. Very well done, everybody, for tuning in. That's it for the quiz this week. Do try and rope in some more people next week. Get your friends and relatives and colleagues or whatever to tune in. Send the link out to them when I post. I tend to post it early in the morning on Fridays. If not, you can maybe send them a link to the channel and say, hey, subscribe to this Wally, and you get a bit of entertainment in the afternoon. She's completely gone. Okay. Well, in the absence of your counter-upper, then I'm going to declare a different team the winner this week, because you've won it every week since. So, ha! They might be the winners by default almost, but hey ho, win's a win. Right, thank you very much. That's it for this week. I'm going to do that fadey thing. Woo! Don't forget to hit us up on social media. We're on Facebook. You can also tweet at LFT Home Office. Just search for the phrase live from the Home Office. You get a lot of stuff to do with the government come up, but hey ho. And that's it. Goodbye. 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 Goodbye.